So, Mike, this past week, there was a tweet by State Senator Melissa Melendez, and she wrote on her Twitter account, and we'll put it up for those who are watching this on video. And it goes, today the Senate Health Committee passed Senate Bill 1446, which says everyone has a legal right to housing and gives them the right to sue if they don't get it. Now she called this, this is unbelievable. It passed, but given that it's California, is it really that unbelievable?
Now, where is she from?
She is from the Lake Elsinore area. So what is it,
Okay.
Riverside area
Okay.
out there? Yeah. And basically under this bill, an individual who lacks what they call supportive housing and mental health services and is otherwise not living safely in a community will have the right to receive these mental health services and other supportive housing. And if they don't, they've got the ability to end up suing.
Sue who?
That's the thing is who? Yes. Well, I'm assuming that they're going to be able to sue the state of California, which is the taxpayer. I mean, because we're
Yeah,
the state doesn't print its money. I mean, they take our money through taxes in order to function.
I mean, I just wonder if there's something there that we don't see on the face of it, because on the face of it, it's like it doesn't make sense. I mean, first of all, does this mean we're going to see lawyers walking through downtown handing their business cards out to homeless people sleeping, in the overpasses or in the along the sides of the highway, or along the LA River, and is it going to be that you got to pay? I mean, to me, it sounds like another one of these things that makes money for lawyers.
Right.
Because you're right. What will happen is they'll sue the state, and the state has money because the state has us. So I don't know if that's a serious thing to address the homeless issue.
Well, I mean, and let's go back in time. There was legislation several years back by Democratic State Assembly member Amiano out of the Bay Area, and he introduced legislation that would have provided what he called a homeless Bill of Rights. And under the Bill of Rights, under his Bill of Rights that he proposed, and luckily it was defeated. It basically said the entire every space is a space for someone that can live under. So basically, if someone wanted to live in your front, in, let's say, your home, and wanted to live on the sidewalk there, they could live there, and there would be no problems.
Mm-hmm.
This Bill of Rights also gave them the ability to urinate or defecate wherever they wanted to, without any problem.
They do that in San Francisco. So.
Which, yes, they do that in San Francisco, but this would have put it into basically
Into law.
into statute.
That makes sense.
You've got this, and this was kind of the Amiano's, homeless Bill of Rights, which is kind of bizarre. And so, when you take some of these bizarre things that get introduced, you get this other type of legislation. I guess what I'm trying to say is, it doesn't surprise me. It doesn't surprise me that these type of pieces of legislation are get themselves approved and get moved through committee.
So let's talk about that for a second, because the key word in everything you said is her tweet that said it passed. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So and people need to understand this. In California, a legislator comes forward and says we should put a moratorium on gas tax because it's killing our people for 6 months. They not only kill that idea, but they gut it and put in different legislation that's opposite. Another senator, I believe it was, I forgot who it was, but another senator stood up and said, we should pass a law that makes human trafficking of a minor a violent felony.
Yeah, Shannon Grove.
Shannon Grove. Never gets out of committee. Dead in a day. Literally dead in a day. Those are the kinds of things that never see the light of day out of committee. But something that says, let's let homeless people get lawyers to sue whoever, the city, the state, maybe the property owner, who knows? Let's give them the opportunity to sue that with all of the questions that come with it, passes through committee.
Yeah.
And if that doesn't tell you, and you live in this state, how screwed up this place is, I don't know what does. I mean, when you kill a bill that says, people who do human trafficking of minors is a violent felony, and it's dead in a day, and another piece of legislation which says homeless people can get lawyers to sue because they're homeless. I mean, if you don't see that this is the circus in town, the California circus, I don't know, you need to get your eyes checked, because that's a perfect example of why most people in this country look at California and say, what's wrong with those people? I mean, I hate to tell you all this, but that's the way it is.
Yeah.
And it's things like this that cause that kind of reaction.
Yeah, no, you're right, and we'll see. The deadline said, as we're filming this podcast, the deadline for all these bills are on Friday. We're filming it here on Thursday, and so what we'll find out is to see how many more of these bills actually get out, what they are, and we'll make sure that we provide them for everyone to kind of I guess part of it what job is we shed some light on some of the absurdities that are happening in the state legislature, because we realize that that the vast majority of people who are normal have normal lives, unlike us that end up having a watch committee, or we watch committee, and we're kind of these political junkies that do this not just for a living, but we do it because, and this is what makes it strange, because we actually enjoy this.
Mm-hmm.
But we shed some light on some of these things, and so as we see some of these more committees, see what's happening here, it just proves once again that we're really not normal.
I want to see what happens with this bill, because if it passes, I may go get a law degree. I mean,
you're gonna make some money there.
Can you imagine Perry Mason, or who was the other guy that Matlock? Was it Andy Griffith Matlock or somebody that was the lawyer, the country lawyer? It's just, I mean, it's like a full employment for trial attorneys and for not fraud, but
just more frivolous lawsuits.
Abuse, frivolous lawsuits. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we'll see what happens with this particular bill and any other those that get out of this committee, and we'll make sure we highlight some of the craziness happening in Sacramento.
Yep, there's a lot of it.
Yeah.